let's jump into our first video, which I just stated, which was Milk Bar TV talking basically a compilation video of 4 minutes of Andrew Tate on being a pimp.
I was all about trying to get paid. Like my whole, I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house to make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah, playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far.
Well, but the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game.
Way to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women.
Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything, because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. And they're stupid.
When you're pimping bitches like me, it's a full-time job. So yeah, on CobraTate.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm.
Look at the camera and smile so you see it's great. Welcome to the Tate PhD course. If you've bought this course, which you obviously have, congratulations, you're going to change your life for the better. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm fucking certified. I know I don't look like a pimp right now.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me.
If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that.
Yeah, once again, if you're still kind of running cover for Andrew Tate, you're very, very morally misguided. This is one of the kind of the worst people. And he incriminates himself by what he says online, and the internet's forever. So it's kind of hilarious, to be honest.
That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. By taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange. I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income. You start with a girl, you download OnlyFans on your phone, you take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account, you verify the account on your phone, and you control the account. So you are now in charge of her OnlyFans. I learned every tip and trick it takes to make sure a girl gets paid. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away.
And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house.
Because once you teach a girl how to do this, she has the ability to make unlimited money from home. Why would she still give it to you? Why would she just run off and keep it all for herself?
That's right. Lock the door, you knew I was going to beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't. Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
Just fucking vile behavior over and over and over again. And there are some guys out there who think that Andrew Tate is good for young men. He's the worst version of masculinity. That's what Andrew Tate is. The worst version of masculinity. A weak-minded fool who thinks that dominating women makes him cool. It doesn't. It makes him a fucking loser and a weak-minded fool. And that's not the version of masculinity that we should be teaching any man, no matter the age.
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch? Her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor, her panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Every real G knows these basic moves. These are the basic moves of pimping. Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. 10 hours of me explaining everything I know from start to finish from my career as a webcam pimp.
You were the pimp.
I was the pimp.
But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls.
Hey, don't forget, my girls were making us money too. Don't forget that. I'm just saying.
Let them take full control over their accounts. They will run away. I like to keep the girls' passwords. I log them in and log them out. If you give the girl the password to her account, there's a chance she could run away and try it by herself. I've had that happen. Be in charge of her own phone contact with members who like her. You are setting yourself up to get scammed. All she has to do is type a sort code and account number to a member. And that has happened to me before. I I went to the room, smashed the room up, told her I knew what she did. She sent me all the money, but that has happened to me before.
No. I was doing the exact same thing, just for the record.
Oy. Just gross, vile behavior. I feel like I'm going to say that over and over and over again. If you are on TikTok specifically, check out the merchandise that we got linked in the shop down below. All proceeds go to suicide prevention. Yeah, it's not a seal of Solomon, so whatever. Finest Goyim, nice to see you. All right, let's go to now Candace Owens. So, I mean, this was posted originally in March 19th, 2024, exposing Candace Owens lying for Andrew Tate. Why did real Candace Owens, who warned Tate was a pimp in 2019, deliberately help Tate to deceive people that he had stopped pimping by 2013? Why does Owens claim to have read Tate's Romanian case file and indictment, then blatantly lie about what's included as evidence and when the trafficking charges date back to? Why did Owens play on her podcast a video of Tate teaching the same lover boy method he used to traffic women and is charged with, but deliberately leave out the most incriminating moments? Why is Candace Owens lying for Andrew Tate? What is the relationship and history between her husband, George Farmer, and Andrew Tate? The answer possibly lies in here in this next kind of compilation video from the man, the myth, the legend, Nathan Livingstone of Milk Bar TV.
I was all about trying to get
Andrew Tate's story is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. The first is because of how I met Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
Very long time.
Actually, I met you downstairs at the Ritz.
Correct.
George and I were engaged at the time.
Yep.
Candace and I met in December of 2018, and we got engaged very quickly after 17 days.
As I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend, Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet. I had my assistant at the time with me, who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States. She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. She comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago, I stopped.
Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate was.
I've had nothing to do with it for 10 or 11 years. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet.
If you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's got to be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania. Digging back 10 years, I don't know who could survive that litmus test. Again, if you found Candace 10 years ago and you asked me about pornography, okay, this is 10 years ago. The content from 10 years ago is coming into play where they're saying, well, look, to even, yeah, they're conflating this now. So even though these charges are from, and I read the indictment again, 2021, look at what he said 10 years ago.
Everything from these old videos, old clips, my webcam company, things that happened 10 years ago have absolutely nothing to do with the
Correct.
case. Absolutely zero. Anything you see from before 2021 has nothing to do with the case.
So I do want you to contextualize this video that has been circulating on the internet of you talking
I love
about
you too.
The lover boy method. So we'll take a look at that right now.
Sure.
I mean, kind of no matter what, it seems at this point that Candace Owens will just kind of cover up for any evil shit that's happening. We see her doing right now with the Charlie Kirk thing. She's just become kind of a psychotic, sort of evil human. Anyone who runs cover for Andrew Tate and sort of downplays their pimping and trafficking and sexual misconduct and assault, anyone who downplays that, again, is morally bankrupt. I think that's what Candace Owens is at this point. So, yeah, just very strange.
Okay, girl to work for you, haven't fun. So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. You f the girl. After you f the girl, you do the PhD test. If she passes the PhD test and she wants to be with you, then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you know, you're always busy. You're always at work. You can come work for me.
And this is me explaining how having a webcam company, it's actually a larger video as a whole.
As I said, you cannot try and approach girls to do webcam. Hi, do you want to do webcam? It's bullshit. It doesn't work.
I believe that Andrew Tate was always upfront with all of these women.
I don't mention webcam. No one's going to say yes. And any girl who does say yes is doing it. She doesn't like you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't love you. She's saying yes purely for money.
It's absolutely not criminal in any regard. There's nothing criminal about it. It has no bearing or any interest in the current case.
Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. But you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we've made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. So control element. Secondly, it allows you to pay her a smaller percentage.
And she comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. Clearly, he communicated exactly what it was and whatever it was that he does in Romania to my assistant.
It's easy just to tell the truth. How about that? Not for Candace Owens, though. It's very, 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 very hard for Candace Owens to tell the truth, especially when lying about something. I don't know what this necessarily gets her in terms of monetary value, but when lying gets her more clout, more exposure, more grift, all those types of things. So let's look at this one more compilation. Then we're going to go to the Ben Shapiro video. This is a compilation of Andrew Tate lying about the criminal accusations against him, because that's what innocent person who's being targeted does, right? Here we go. Great job, Milk Bar TV.
It's true that you and your brother made money from video chat studios?
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio.
How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago I stopped.
When Corona came, I scaled it back up, right? So I got 20 more girls online. We scaled that back up to $300,000 or $400,000 a month. So I got back into the game hard. But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls.
I mean, what did I do? I helped some people organize some accounts on an internet website. That's what I did.
I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away.
I helped women with the tax side.
When you use words like convince and control and coerce, there's not a lot of consent there. And certainly Andrew Tate was trafficking and pimping girls. He's said it in his own words multiple times.
Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax, but you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax.
Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them. But we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love. And then what did I pretend to love them to achieve?
I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. I have met beautiful women with a good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch. I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money.
I am accused of helping my friends.
Yeah, of course you don't want to have sex with her because you're probably gay. You're also a piece of shit.
Get big on TikTok.
But bullshit!
Yeah. Anyways, that's Andrew Tate being a real piece of shit. And again, anyone who's running cover for him or thinking they should support him still or he's done anything good for young men is morally bankrupt and fucking lying to themselves. So